Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, my fellow Chibits. Today, I'm here to bring all of you, once again, another ReZero video. This felt like the calm before the storm. That's exactly what this episode felt like. Because, see, last week's episode, it was a happy moment. It was pretty much letting us know all this difficult suffering that Subaru has constantly gone throughout the entire arc. It finally meant something, and he got that date with Amelia. And in this episode, we get to see a little bit of that date. And like I said, the calm before the storm, the slow setup before all shit hits the fan. Because I don't know if it's just me, but when I was watching this episode, I was just thinking the entire time, oh god, he's gonna die, he's gonna die, he's gonna get stabbed, someone's gonna get killed, someone is about to fucking die. Like, the entire episode, the entire time, from the start to the finish, until the final, like, second of the episode, I was thinking something bad was about to happen. And I think that is really brilliant when it comes to this series. And it's something I actually haven't talked about, and I want to kind of discuss that a little bit, which I think has been done rather properly when it comes to this series. See, ReZero, it's able to build suspense and tension without really even trying because of what it has done earlier on in the series. Because as we know, it can be all happy-go-lucky one moment, and then it can all turn to shit in a matter of seconds because something happens that you just did not expect. Like, you know, what happened in the first episode of ReZero. So when you think about it like that, this episode was a very perfect episode to just make us on edge, where we're wondering what is about to happen. Because we see in this episode that Subaru, he's not really doing the smartest things throughout this episode. Like, he's being a little bit stupid. Like, his overall decisions to go to where, you know, the capital is, to force himself into this meeting and find out more information about Amelia, and we know how he hitched a ride with one of the other candidates to become the next, you know, queen of the entire capital. I mean, Subaru was doing some stupid things throughout the episode, and I feel like that's probably going to come back to bite him in the end. I mean, I could see next week where some of the decisions that Subaru made in this episode could cause maybe his death or someone else's death or something very bad to happen that he can't really get out of. One or the other is bound to happen, because throughout this entire episode that begins this new arc, he did a lot of mistakes. Now, one thing, though, I need to point out is that Felt is back in the series. Yes, our little thief girl that was in the first arc of ReZero is back in this arc, which I'm very glad. I'm really glad to see her back, because I really liked her character. I wanted more characterization in development for her, and I'm glad to see her back in this arc. The main question is exactly, is she really the next candidate to be the queen of the kingdom, or is this, like, just some form of ruse to maybe make us think she is? I'm very curious about that, but I love Felt the way she reacts at the end of the episode, because the way she's acting or reacting to the entire situation, she's like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, I'm a thief girl. Why the fuck am I in this, you know, clothing? It was just so funny seeing the way she was, you know, reacting in this situation. And, I mean, if I was in that situation, I'd probably be thinking the same thing. I mean, look, if you were a thief girl going around stealing shit and, like, you know, maybe a couple days ago, maybe a week ago, and then all of a sudden you're turned into someone that's like a pretty princess, you're like, what the fuck is going on here? You think like you walked into a fairy tale or something. So, I mean, in a way, I'm happy for Felt. I'm very happy that she is now gonna probably be living a better life. But I'm willing to bet that it's probably going to put some strain on her relationship with the old man. I can definitely see how that might, you know, happen because of her now being with, you know, the capital. How she's like now a new candidate for the throne. So I can see where there's going to be some complications between that issue, because she's connected with thieves and stuff like that, and she's, you know, a candidate for the throne. You can see where that could go bad. Now, my main question is why was Amelia trying to hide the entirety of the succession to the throne, or all these candidates? Like, why was Amelia trying to hide it? That's the biggest thing I don't understand throughout this episode. I mean, the only thing I can understand is maybe that Amelia doesn't want Subaru to know more about her past or something, or maybe Amelia just doesn't want, you know, I guess him to be meet any of the other candidates for the throne because he might be very rude or evil. And I mean, I'm willing to bet that one girl, I think her name is Priscilla, I'm just going to call her Scylla for short. I'm willing to bet that girl, she probably has a very nasty side to her, because the way Amelia was reacting in this episode, she was hiding behind Subaru, making sure she didn't show her face. Most likely, judging by the way she was reacting, I think it could be only one thing why she was hiding. It's probably because maybe that girl bullies Amelia because, she is half-elf. We already know this has been established. And Amelia most likely, suffers from a lot of racism at the Capitol because, she's different from a normal human. And that's bound to happen. That's how humans are. They're awful people. So I'm willing to bet that that's probably what's going on. And she probably didn't want, Subaru to actually see that, and then him getting upset to jump in and probably protect her. That might be the reason here. I'm willing to bet that might be the reason, because of her being a half-elf. Now, if it's not that, there's something else going on here, which I don't know, but it's probably going to be rather dangerous for, Subaru, because we know he's going to suffer. Eh? The series constantly likes killing him. So, yeah. Episode of ReZero. I mean, it did a good job. Like I said, it did a good job of setting up the atmosphere, the tone, the tension for the series, for this arc. I'm really looking forward to this arc because it's actually rather different from the previous arcs. I mean, the first arc was focused around, just trying to get this insignia for Amelia. The second arc was in the middle of a mansion, and this arc now we're going into where, politics and stuff are at. So I'm really interested in that. As you all know, I love politics and that when it comes to anime and manga, so seeing it in the series that we might get to see it, I'm excited. I'm very excited for that, to see some content around that, and also getting to see, the higher-up officials and what they're doing in this world. And also, there's potential for world building because, we're in this point to where we're amongst all these rich people that probably will talk about all sorts of different events in the world. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.